Hello, one and all. Welcome. My name's Fear. Hey, at least I realized the mic was muted before I did anything. And then this is obviously Battle Vortex. My producer Mitzi is in her queen size bed today, so we're not going to have her here today. We're going to talk about Crowfall. Wow. So the first week or so of patch 7.8's got some things going on. We got to talk about. We're going to talk about this big launch thing they got coming up in a week and things like that. So we're going to talk about Crowfall today. Get ready for it. It's coming at you. Alrighty then. So, all right, there we are. So today, welcome my esteemed co-host Extreme.
Morning, how y'all doing?
I remembered to unmute today.
Shit.
And of course, we have our special guest, Highlander, to help us understand things from a layman's perspective.
Special ed, maybe.
Special ed perspective. Sure. Whatever works, man. It's all good. So, as I was saying, the game's new patch is not 100% ready for prime time. Right? Is that a safe way to put it? I don't want to.
Sure, that's one way to put it.
I don't want to get us in any trouble any more than we normally get into, but yeah, it's basically fucked. So the deal is, this is our weekly podcast that we do for Crowfall, and it's a community-driven podcast. So if you want to join, you can certainly get on the show, and if you just want to participate in chat, we have one of those as well on the Twitch channel. Or if you see us later, you can always comment down below the video on the YouTube side. Well, I think my first topic today is we're going to talk about some breaking news. The Crowfall evolution I don't think is going exactly as planned. It's looking a little grim.
He said breaking.
Breaking. Yeah, breaking news is see?
Something's breaking.
See what I did there?
Segue.
So yeah, this morning, even as we speak, we were getting ready to do the show, and the server just kind of poofed. And what was the statement they made? Oh, it said that the Nova Shadow and the God's Reach were currently unavailable. We're investigating, and we'll provide more information when it's available. That's what we got this morning. But don't let that fool you, because this game has been just crashing all over the place. Everybody I talk to, there's something going on. There's zoning issues. There's EKs are getting hung where they won't load, and then you have to load them again.
I just had that one happen.
Yeah.
The
So
whole game just crashed. It kicked me out completely. I had to re-log in and everything.
yeah, so this has been happening all over the place. You see it on the Discord. I've heard it on several Discords. People are just like losing their minds because all this stuff is not going as intended. And that's too bad, because the patch itself has had some cool things in it. I'll discuss some of those in a little bit. But, the thing that terrifies me, guys, is that, they're supposed to be doing this, top secret big launch thing with the new dregs next week. And this game needs to not be crashing if they're going to have the streamers come back. They're going to do some big announcement about their new creative director. They want it to be a happy time, but it's not a happy place. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm a little worried about this launch, because I hate to have them fail again.
Of course, I'm worried. Absolutely.
I mean, is this supposed to be like another soft launch, just try and get the population back, or is this supposed to be like another full launch?
These are all great questions, Extreme, ones we do not have the answer to.
Well,
But
the game's not ready for any kind of launch, in my opinion.
Well, the only thing I do know is that Voldemort said he was coming back on the 19th. Marquis Dragon said he was coming back as soon as they make an announcement, which I'm assuming which will be before the 19th. That one's speculation, but I'm almost positive that's it. And then they delayed the dregs. They changed a bunch of the rules to a rule set that had been asked for by a large portion of the community for a very long time, which is to make it more, smaller zones and things like that, so that they can kill each other faster.
Let's see. Our KGB says the problem is the effing EK problems with every time they patch. It's like patch equal don't load your EK and wait 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, well, now we are 5 days into the patch, so yeah, this is ridiculous.
Since the last campaign ended, this is the first time I've been able to log in. The first thing I'm greeted with is all my tunes are naked, so they did not come back fully dressed like they're supposed to. I can't load in the EK, and quite frankly, I just don't want to play right now.
Yeah, it's left a bad taste in people's mouth.
I haven't been playing the game for 5 minutes, and I'm already aggravated.
That's what Crowfall should change their name to. Crow Aggravation. Or Crow Fallout 76 is what I like to call it. But in any event, is they got a new producer, right? They got the new creative director coming. They've got this Terminator Dregs 2.0 or whatever coming. And people are gearing up for that. So Shadows is complete mess right now. Half a Moon is playing Sun. So that's fun. So the leaderboard looks almost exactly like normal, except it's Sun instead of Moon. It's the same people though. They're just all playing Sun. Fine, good. We're going to talk about that too, because that bug, there's some things that are just bothering the holy bejesus out of me. There was some other things like in the EK. Oh yeah, I had the chest disappearing thing from the EK. Had to. And no, I just had them. I can't really read his name. Is it Onk or Ark?
Ark. I just call him Ark KGB.
Okay, Ark. Well, he's just with the KGB. I know who those guys are. Kings of Glory and Beer, if I'm not mistaken. They've been around a long time. So have I. It's kind of scary. So they. Yeah, we lost our chests that we keep our majors and minors in. And, fortunately, I'm mostly honest with my guys, so they knew I didn't steal them. But, I could see that being a big issue with some other guilds. Yeah, and they actually, I don't know how they fished them out, but I think what happened was that they were just spawning under the ground. I think they made some adjustments to the EKs. I remember back when they were talking about doing that thing where they were going to raise the walls of the keep so that people couldn't leap into them and stuff like that. It was somewhere around that time is when this chest disappearing thing started happening. I've actually, since then, I moved those chests away from that building because I didn't want it to happen again, and moved them to a better location. But yeah, that's a little scary. But they also, in this last patch, which I'm not sure why, removed the Master Chef from the EK in the center circle, the Archon circle. There was a Master Chef there. You could get certain food items. Remember, I kept telling you they need to have that. One of the vendors have more stuff on it. I was talking like Domination dust. I was going to say Dalmatian dust, something like that.
Dalmatian.
Yeah, the Dalmatian dust that you get for stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then
Pretty righteous.
like the regular dust, the ethereal dust would be great. Stuff like that. Stuff that, yeah, you could go get it, but it would just be like really nice if you could just buy it too. If you're just like super rich, it's a great gold sink. The
Rich? Somebody say rich.
yeah, and I agree again with Ark that. You should be able to place whatever vendors you want in your EK and do whatever the hell you want there. Some of us paid a lot of money for them damn things. I want to make it a city, and let me do that. Thank you. So I don't know. I read one Discord poster saying that, you know, they wanted to force people into the God's Reach so new players would see more people. I was like, here we go. If that is it, which I don't know that it is, if that is it, that is the dumbest shit I ever heard. Okay? First of all, you don't inconvenience your longtime players to prove a point that something exists that, you know, they should have already handled by making it easier for entry, a barrier entry for new players. That's just dumb. Okay? So if that's the case, totally not a fan of that. Yeah, so I don't know why they took that guy out of there. I hope they put him back. Not that I really care. Personally, I don't craft, so I don't care. Yeah. So I don't really care about the Master Chef. If that's what they did it for, that was a dumb idea. I don't know why they think that pissing everybody off is the best way to get new players in there. So you want everybody up in God's Reach bitching about it instead of bitching about it on their EK where nobody can hear them? I don't know.
If they're going to do that, then they need to sit there and expand God's Reach. And I've said this idea hundreds of times. I'll say it again. Keep the center, which you have as God's Reach, keep that portion the same, and then have an outer portion that goes into which Badlands, Wildlands, we want to call it, but basically a higher level area for the higher level players to play in, and use that to either expand on the game's lore, throw in a dungeon, something.
Well, I'll tell you the good and the bad news of that. It looks like that's what they're doing to the Shadows. They're bringing it closer and closer to, and we'll get into this more later, but they're bringing it closer and closer to being able to be what you just said. So we'll talk. I'll tell you why more in a little bit, but that's where we're at.
Okay.
Yeah, which may be exactly what you're looking for, except they'd still need new content, and I don't know, if that's going to be on their roadmap or what. But if they don't bring new content out, they're just shooting themselves in the foot, because they're going to get like 3 months out of a person, and they're going to be completely bored out of their skull. We're just gluttons for punishment. So
yeah, speaking of skull, I gotta get some Advil over here back.
Yeah, get some skull or some Advil or whatever.
No,
but
Or his skull.
Yeah. Yeah, they should not, and I said this before, they should not try to trick people into what the game is. They should make those other areas more accessible. The reason people don't like to go to the EKs is because they don't make any sense. The whole interface for EK is ridiculous, and it doesn't make any sense, and nobody understands. I mean, it took me literally months to get some of the guild mates to even go into my EK. Even with explanations and diagrams and pictures and videos and go. I had to fly out to some of their houses and show them right on their computer, and they still didn't buy into it for a long time. So
the only evidence you have to back that up is your credit card. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, Ark, if you've ever been to my EK. It's called DV Trade. Yeah, you want to talk about walls, baby. I've got the walls. And I haven't even played. I've still got a pack full of walls I haven't even put down yet. So, yeah, I understand.
Walls?
But you know what, dude? If you want to get together with me sometime, I can show you. There's a lot of tricks you can do, though, to get around some of that stuff. What I finally ended up having to do is because I've got, what is that? There's like, everything to me has to be symmetrical, right? So like if I have two things on this side, I have to have two things on that side. What's that called? I don't even know. But anyway, so I had to get over this where everything had to be exactly all symmetrical. And once I did that, I was able to drop walls like no other. But, if you ever want to go check out my EK and check out the wall structures, you'll see that there are some that are very symmetrical, but then there's others that are not. And I had to get over that issue, because you can tilt the walls You can have them do an incline or a decline, and you can have a lot of things going on. Yeah, that's what I have a tune that has all the walls, and I have another tune that has all the mounts and badges and other things that I acquired over the years. And we've been advocating heavily for what was that again, Highlander?
Being able to put my soulbound items in a personal chest.
That's
That'd be
it.
nice.
That's the
That'd be
thing.
nice.
We've been advocating for that for months and months and months. I even did 2 memes that one week, remember?
I think we mentioned it about once or 3 or 12 freaking times every show.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, why has that not been put in? Why are they so resistant to that?
it should have been put in like day one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just want to know, why are they so resistant to that idea? What's the big deal? Why can't I put an item that's bound to my soul in my personal chest that only I can access?
I don't know. So Ark is talking about making a wall around a mountain. So I do have the mountain citadel and I do have the palace. So there's a couple things you can do on when the parcel or when the building, like, okay, so the mountain citadel, for example, has rocks around a lot of it. You can actually you can actually clip the wall into the rocks. So you can actually use the rocks as part of the wall. So you don't have to, like, I did do this. I built the wall in front of the rocks in front of the mountain citadel, and I was able to do that. But then on the corners of the mountain citadel, it's funny because there's a rock. There's a rock there, and that rock is in an impossible place. Yeah, which is probably what you're referring to. There's a rock on the, if you're looking at the front of the mountain citadel, it's on the right-hand side. That spot is almost impossible to build around because it's got a hill right there. So you have to basically leave it open. Yeah, you can't have it perfect. That's correct. And that's the thing I was saying I had to get over. I had to get over the it has to be perfect thing. And once I did that, I was able to drop the walls much quicker. So yeah, you have to kind of get creative in some spots, but on that hill, if you do it just right, I think I just ended up bringing the wall in more and then just kind of curving it out. But yeah, it was intermediate fort, step of the mountain like real fortresses. You can't. Yeah, no, there's a lot of issues with that stuff, and they never completed it, especially like with the tower pieces. There's I think there's 6 sides to them. They're hexagons or something. You were supposed to be able to build those going any direction, and you can only build them in the 4 spots. You were supposed to be able to actually build it. If you look at castles out in the, or keeps rather, out in the world, you can see sometimes they actually do angle them at different angles, and it's really cool and would solve a lot of issues, but they never finished the walls in the EK. So in any event, the next thing,
Game
what?
just crashed again, trying to load the EK.
Yeah, it's bad. Whatever's going on, it's not good.
Is that persistent?
Yeah, it's pretty non-persistent. What was the thing? What was the thing they said the other day about intermittently happening? It's like, no, it's pretty much just happening. Yeah.
No, it's pretty mittently. It's not intermittently. It's just mittently.
Now I don't know if that's because my EK is incredibly big and it's doing it, or what's going on there. But
I know you're not used to hearing that.
well, about my EK I am, but there's other things maybe not so much. But yeah, so there's that. So I just had like a bullet list of things I was thinking about this week.
Yep, there it goes.
One of the, I guess a lot of what we want to talk about this week is shadow. So I'm going to get my shadow stuff up here. Some of the things I've noticed about Nova so far and what I like or dislike about them. Did you know that in the shadows this time they're allowing you to import all inventory items, including gold?
Really? You can import gold?
Yeah. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Well, I had to find out.
Foot in the shadow yet?
Well,
So
I
that
found
means
out.
So that means you can import your food buffs.
Yes.
You found out by mistake?
No.
Okay, that is an interesting and, in my opinion, good change.
I like that, but I'm not sure about the gold, and we can get into that.
I mean, the gold's a moot point, honestly. Does it really matter?
Yes, because you
Okay.
can go build your keeps and forts with gold.
That's true. That is true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That part bothers me a little bit.
That is true. But the food bus is nice because prior
I did it. Yeah, well, I did it yesterday, so I don't know. Ark, you might want to double check that.
So yeah, Art, if go to the war table and you can use your gold as XP to upgrade your forts and keeps. You can't use it to build the walls or anything.
No, but you can just upgrade the structure.
The stronghold.
Yeah, the
Yes.
stronghold. Yeah, not the actual.
The
Building.
level. The stronghold level.
Well, okay, so imported gold. If they don't allow imported gold, that's fine. I know you can still use gold though to do it, which is fine too. I don't. I think they should have just made the cost of building that stuff less and just let you use just materials instead of gold. But I get it. Gold's definitely useful. I can double check the imported gold thing, but as far as I know, yes, you can still use gold.
I'm happy to hear about the importing food buffs though.
Yeah, I do like that, but you can also import trebuchets.
Well, I mean the tier 1 trebuchets are pretty cheap to make. I mean,
No, I'm talking you can import tier 4 trebuchets. Which makes the
changer.
having
That's
it
a game changer.
yeah, which makes
Yeah, it
having
is.
the keeps the kind of
Huge.
pointless. I mean,
Yes.
other than
Well-
the only thing people want out of the keeps is the cavalcade.
well, I would even argue really that because I mean, yeah, the cavalcade's nice. I mean, it is nice, but
Yeah.
it's not detrimental if you don't have it. From what I notice is majority of the time with keeps, most of the time, only those who are putting the time and effort into them are the hardcore crafters who just want the buffs to go mine.
So the Ark is saying this was a band-aid so people can import the egg from the last of it. So they went through all this hoops just to let people bring an egg in, huh?
Yeah,
Couldn't
Yeah.
make an exclusion list like, yeah, just let the egg in,
that actually kind of makes sense now that I think about it because
Yeah, okay.
the charms were supposed to be importable from what I was told, but they weren't.
Okay.
So I see what they're doing there.
Okay,
But-
so they just flipped the whole switch. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not okay with. Like I said, if the imported gold does not work, I'm okay. But I don't mind that you can import gold. It actually encourages people to use, like if there's vendors, if people put vendors out front, which nobody does right now, but if they did, people might bring gold in so they could buy gear. Whether it's crafted or not. Obviously you'd have to. You could always import gear, but you couldn't. You'd have to go out and grind for the gold, or you could import the gold you need to start an event, which I think is dumb to even make you pay for that. But yeah. So if it was I didn't get the egg, so I didn't even know that was a thing. So.
Yeah,
Okay, it makes sense, but it's kind of like silly that they
Yeah.
went to that extreme just to get one item through the the security.
I mean,
I don't know about I didn't try to import conquest coins.
you haven't done
You can
that.
now try to make 24 experience point vessels. Okay. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the food buffs was nice because prior to that they were useless outside of the game.
Yeah, food buffs. So there's obviously some issues they need to work through there. I just didn't like the idea of the rich guilds coming in. I mean, the dregs guilds usually come in and just make a mess out of everything anyway, and then we end up spending all of our time busy working to fix it all once they're enthralled in their dregs or whatever they're doing. But
They come in, have a temper tantrum, and then leave.
yeah.
The only ones who
They go
do
away.
come in, are the select few who are bored and aren't getting enough action over in dregs. They come over to shadows and they get bored and leave shadows.
Yeah, well, sometimes they try to manipulate the outcome of the shadows, which they haven't been able to do that for a while. except this time, since there's a hot number of about 50% of moon went over to sun for some reason, which we're going to get into in a little bit. But yeah, so yeah, I think that the idea is there's some things you should do, and whatever the egg is for, that's great. But I didn't want them to obsolete everything, is what I was getting worried about. Like, well, what the hell? I mean, I don't know that in the shadows we even really care about the keeps that much anyway. Mostly people just want the buffs. And not even the buffs that I want. The buffs I want I like the cavalcade, and and any defense or offensive fighting buff. Yes, but I don't care about the crafting, so I don't care about those buffs. So basically, people are just looking for the buffs. They don't defend the keeps. They don't build them up to level 10. They don't do anything. They just want the buffs, and then they hope and pray that like nobody will take it away from them. So they'll post in general like, gosh, we have a keep now. I hope nobody takes it. Gosh, took us so long, because there's only a few people that are contributing to the materials. So yeah, it takes like a month of Sundays especially if you're doing it by yourself. And there's only one person I know that can even keep up with that amount of material gathering. And that person's in Sun right now. So yeah, when she's on my side, I'm all about it though.
Which I haven't even seen since that whole debacle.
What's that?
I haven't seen her at all.
Well, you can just go tack an outpost that's Sun owned.
Yeah, thank you.
You can summon her anytime you want. She's like, yeah, she's like Beetlejuice. You kill 3 guards that are Sun, and then she appears, and pushes your shit in.
Deep.
It's fun stuff.
Real deep.
You can get all the content you want. You can
I don't need.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
don't need my shit pushed in content.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's like a summoning. If you want to summon Farnham, you just go to a hot zone, and then he'll appear and push your shit in all day, and tell you, "Thanks, good fight for me sneaking up on you while you had no fucking buffs, and I killed you." that's a 1v1.
Call that a 1-on-1.
That's a 1v1.
A 1v1? No, I don't believe it for a minute.
Oh God, that's fucking hilarious. I watch the chat sometimes and I just laugh and laugh.
And
like,
it might say something when 4 guys jump him and say,
"Oh, you need 4 people?" Yeah,
4 people?
we actually do.
Look, like this is the dregs.
Yeah, it is. You are the dregs, dude.
Get a grip.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
That's not ganking. That's leveling the playing field. Yeah, it does take 4 of us to kill him. So, yeah, and that's no, I'm not embarrassed. I know I can't whip him on my own, but if I got 3 friends, we'll get him. I mean that's just as fair, right? We're not sneaking up on him. We're just going in there and killing him. So, when we get those little parties together, which isn't that often, we sometimes we like to go, get a little retribution. Anybody that's got like a couple hundred kills in the shadows, I don't really have a lot of sympathy for if they get killed a little bit. I was out seal clubbing and you interrupted my playtime. Really? Well, that's amazing. We don't care. So
get my 1v1s on, baby. I'm getting my 1v1s.
The more the merrier. Now, the other thing that's kind of nice about this shadow is you can import as pretty much as many characters as you want, which I like because shadows is not like a lot of people don't want to play war anymore. They don't want to play the siege game. I mean, we played it a freaking million times. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, it's like there's only so long you can play the same thing over and over and over, especially if you whether you win it or lose it, it just, it gets stagnant after a while.
Boring repetition?
No, it's why I don't like games like World of Tanks and World of Warships and all that, because it's just the same shit over and over and over.
Over and over.
Yeah, I mean, some people really like that, but there's a lot of us that would like to see new stuff. It keeps us interested. Keep,
Yeah,
new
you're
mechanics,
silly.
new things, new monsters that are fun to kill. Now they do have those new graveyards, right? And the graveyards
Those
do
are
have a
really good
spawn.
looking.
They have a spawn area on them. So at least they put in these little pads that, excuse me, they're like
You're
they're
excused.
like marble, and they have a sun, or not a sun, but a star pattern, a sunburst
Correct.
pattern on them.
Mhm.
Those are spawn areas, and at least in other places there, you'll see them around.
7.7, I think, brought those in.
This is a
For the
really
moon.
big one. This one's like 2 times the size of what you normally see. Um, yeah, yeah. Kiri, I know she switched. She's running 2 characters in the Dregs or in Shadow right now. So that's never a good sign. Yeah. Most of the moon aren't doing anything because the ones that are left, we're just waiting to the 19th and hoping everybody leaves because it's murderous right now. You can't really get anything done, and yeah, not everybody's interested in that. Now, if you're on Earth, now Curie hates Earth, so if you're in Earth, you can get killed even faster. But if you're in Moon and you want to get killed, just go take one of her outposts, and she'll come and kill you. That's how that works. So yeah, the merchants have gone over with that. That's the whole. I don't really understand all those alliances and how they keep track of all that and all. I don't care who's what,
I don't
In
even
the
care.
if they're moon, they're moon. If they're not, then they're not my friend. Yeah, and then I would fight them if I had to. Well, yeah, they're not really. That's not what we use the outposts for. We use the outposts for points because there's this little thing called a leaderboard, and we use that leaderboard to compete against each other most times. But we just like flipping the flags
But
and getting the
usually with
points.
us, it's most des or most assist or.
Yeah, I like the most deaths. That's my favorite one to get. I wish they paid more for it because then it'd be more worth it for me. But
Oh yeah, but don't get started.
yeah,
on
we
that.
just
Now
play
you're
the
gonna
points.
Segue right into a nightmare.
Yeah, we're not, and Curie knows all of us. We've actually won several shadows with her. We've won several without her, but that's not. She knows we're not asking for PvP. That's not a signal for us. That's because we're trying to get the points up.
Well, with her, it's about the win, no matter what flag or what what crest she's carrying.
Well, I don't know because she's well. What they said we were nut cupping her that one time because she was helping us with killing Earth. She'll help us with Earth. I know that. But yeah, but if you really want to get her to come kill you, it's not a problem. In any event, where was I? So I do like that you can bring all the characters you want, and level them.
You're still limited by import tokens, aren't you?
No,
No.
only if you bring stuff in your inventory.
So your character themselves does not actually cost anything to import.
Correct.
So they changed that as well.
Yes.
Okay.
That is cool because I think it's a hindrance to not be able to bring all your characters over to the shadow and move them in and out. I think this is where I was going to go with this at some point. I was going to say, I have it in my notes, but I was going to say, if they didn't have the bank part, the separate bank for the shadows, then the shadows would be what you were asking for earlier. So if they just got rid of the part where there's a separate bank, they could still do the cycle and change the world every 35 days. But if they just got rid of that extra bank, they could technically then that would be your expansion that you were asking about. So they're like right in there. Because then it would just be a zone, right? So you just go on the map, you'd see shadow, you go to that zone, you're in the campaign. You do whatever you want to do. You go back to your EK. You go to your. That's where that's at. That's very close to where that's at, because the bank intermedium thing doesn't really matter at this point because mostly all you do is you get stuff in the shadow, you bring it home.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just cut that part out of the equation, I mean, if it was really a problem, they could give you extra bank space during a campaign or while you're in there. But I don't think that I don't think that that should be a big issue in my mind, anyway. So so there's your expansion right there. It may be the shadow, and then and hopefully, because realistically, if they're going to do events in there and all that stuff, now you still have to be level 30 to get in there, but that's fine too. I mean, that's okay too. You just if you put it on a portal, you could just say, hey, you can't come in here yet. You have to level up to 31 or whatever they call it, and then you can come in, or level up to get a vessel at 30, or just level 230, right? I guess you don't even have to be vessel to go on the shadow, right? So yeah, I mean they could if they really technically wanted to, force you to commit to the PvP stuff. They could make you a vessel before you go into the shadow, which would then in fact teach you about vessels a little bit. However, they still got to teach you more about how to get them from other players, because that's still very unclear.
Yeah.
To new people, right? I mean, we know where to get them now, but it didn't happen overnight. It took a long time before we figured all that shit out. So, yeah. I just think if you're able to, bring in more characters to level them quicker, then you're going to need stuff quicker, right? So you're going to want to buy your vessels. You're going to want to buy your gear. And that may encourage more crafting going on. Crafters actually putting things out on vendors and that sort of thing. So yeah, we just talked about getting rid of the bank layer. And that would get rid of the whole stripping you naked thing. That'd get rid of the whole...
Which that still happens.
Well, it happened to you. It didn't happen to me. I brought 3 characters back, and they were all dressed. So.
I brought 3 characters back, and they were not dressed.
Yeah, but you also brought them back a week late, so anything could happen after that.
That shouldn't matter.
I'm just saying it. You did, though. Most people brought them back right away. Most people don't go on hiatus for 2 months, but in between stuff. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. They may have changed it back. Maybe it was only available for a couple days. Maybe they forgot. I don't know. They don't tell us nothing.
All I'm hearing is excuses. That's all I'm hearing.
That's all they have. Let's see, what else? Yeah, so we were talking about this earlier, but basically people are done or not as interested in playing Siege anymore. We've played it 1,000 times. We're over it. Give us something else. Give us a new objective. Give us something else to do. I don't want to sit around and fight with Farnham and Kirimara all day. That's just not interesting to me.
I mean, Shadows, as you said, Shadows has got really nothing to entice players to play anymore, because the only reason to take a keep is for the
buffs.
Gathering buff. For the gathering buff. Not even Calico, just the gathering buffs.
Yeah.
And the only reason why Dregs is as popular as it is, because that's, where the entire population is at, because they just want to sit there and pound on each other. Because they got more people to fight. And I know you guys don't think it's a PvP game, or you jokingly say it's crafting simulator PvP attached, but from what I recall, the game was originally advertised as a full PvP-based, whatever genre you want to call it, because I don't think the game knows what genre it is yet.
Yeah.
But it is a PvP game.
Yeah,
just with a very robust and obnoxiously complicated crafting system attached to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could flip it around either way, but the whole point is that that's not how the majority play. I mean, come on, now you know they have wartime diplomacy, dude. That doesn't exist in the Shadow.
If that's not how the majority, because Shadow's done differently than Dregs, but if that's not how the majority play, then why is it majority of the population is in Dregs, where you have most of the fighting? Or I should say you have more.
Well, they didn't invent the Shadow. They didn't invent the Shadow until they found out that not everybody can handle the Dregs.
And yet, majority of the population is still there in Dregs.
Well, that's because it's the old population. It's not the new population.
Well, the new population's gone.
Well, they can't figure the game out. Right. But I mean, so what? You want them just to design the game? If they do that, they'll get rid of everything except for dregs, have it in one zone, and you guys can just stand in a circle and beat each other. That's basically where they want to be.
No,
right
what I'm saying is, I'm agreeing with you guys.
Circle
Shadows.
jerk?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's just like that.
Yeah, giant circle jerk. No, Shadows needs a. They've done enough with dregs. They've tried a couple different modes and whatnot. They should have enough information to keep dregs happy for the next couple campaigns. They really need to focus on Shadows.
Well, they need to focus on the new player experience and yeah, I think I don't have a problem with them making Shadows like part of, like the next step in the evolution, right? So, like you were saying, an extra zone, like another zone where they can go, but they still need new content no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I've killed 100,000 thralls by now. You know what I mean? So I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I love killing them. They're a lot of fun.
They need to do something with Shadows, because right now the only thing to do in Shadows is take forts, take outposts, and take keeps, and the whole mechanic of building up keeps and forts and whatnot is boring. I mean, I know Highlander doesn't want to spend hours and hours just to sit there and maybe get a bell tower up to level 1 or 2. I sure as hell don't want to do it, and the only reason why we ever did that in the past is because Kiri told us to. We did it begrudgingly.
Yeah.
Very
We don't do it now.
But she's not here to boss us around. So
That's right. She's over there in that Sunny group for now. So, yeah, we don't have to worry about her bossing us around.
As far as Maroon is concerned, I know none of us are going to sit there and put in the time and effort to sit there and build a bookkeeper for it, because it's absolutely boring, and it's a mundane mechanic that serves no purpose, in my opinion, other than just to kill time. This game has plenty of time killers already.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for Kirimara doing it, nobody would do it. As a matter of fact, the campaigns we won without her, we didn't build nobody built the walls. We just left them down. We just used the forts as flags. If you could get through the 4 guards and spend the 20 minutes to turn it, good on you, buddy. It's like, hey, good job, man.
Mines are meant to be PvP hotspots.
Yeah, they're not.
The problem with the mines is nobody wants to use the pigs, because the pigs, the amount of resources you get from the pigs and time and effort put into it, one does not justify the other. I'm sorry. Dragging a pig out of a cat-infested trench without having to PvP your way out for about 30 minutes to have it slowly follow you back to wherever you're taking it, with it occasionally getting distracted, and
you have to whistle at it. If you don't remember how to whistle, you're screwed.
I mean, and you get 1 to 2 stone, but that's dregs. Dregs has a much larger population, so I don't think that's more of people want to go to the mines. I think it's more of they kind of have to go to the mines.
They have to build their keeps because they want their buffs.
Oh, well, no, I see what he's saying now. He's talking about the old abandoned mines. I'm thinking of the...
No, he's talking about the towers. I think is what he means,
yes,
right?
yes, he's talking about the Overseer Key Tower.
Yeah, the key towers, yeah.
I'm talking about the stone ore and wood laden pigs.
Yeah, he's not talking about that.
Yeah, no, I see what you're talking about now. Okay. Point is, the pigs are still useless. Get rid of the pigs. No one uses the pigs.
Yeah, the pigs are dumb.
But yeah, if Shadows had more of a population and more people willing to sit there and build up the keeps and the forts and whatnot, yeah, the mines would be a free-for-all 24/7 fight for about the first week in Shadows as well, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean,
we population and nobody in Shadows wants to do that.
They also make deals with each other, though. I mean, that's not. Yeah. Let's be honest. Let's see. They're good meat shields. Oh, okay.
Shields,
yeah. We don't. We have a meat shield. His name's Highlander. You ever met him? Yeah, he's our meat shield. We just send him out in front.
I have a meat shield.
Yeah, we have a meat shield. His name's Highlander. We have him go. We go. Highlander, smash.
I'm the aggro attractant.
That's what we use him for. They want to win, and I understand the winning, because in the dregs, if you're not but the thing is too. So the dregs, they make deals. So like Kiri tells us all this stuff all the time. We just don't understand what the hell she's talking about because we don't play. There's no point. I mean, we've got 3, maybe 4 active people at any one time. Usually it's 2, but sometimes it could be 4 or 5. On a good day, it could be 5. But, so we don't really play the dregs because The last time we went in there, we did the Terminator dregs, but we don't know who's who or what's what. We don't care about alliances and all that. So when you walk in there, there's just a gazillion different colored flags, and we don't know what all that is for. I mean, in the dregs, I understand that they probably know that when you turn a flag, you're asking for PvP, because usually those guys all know each other. So if they want, that's a signal for them. And in the factions, we don't all know each other, and we don't even know, like, we see flags and stuff over their heads. We don't know what guild that is. We don't even care. As long as they're Moon, they're fine, you know. So, so it's a different. Yeah, I see. There's two different mindsets going on, big time, between like the actual Shadow players and Dregs players. Now, if you look at on the Shadow leaderboards, if you look at the Shadow leaderboards, you can actually see a lot about who's actually playing. So, since I'm in there, I'll show you. I can show you that part real quick. So if we go into the map here, we go, which I think is the dumbest thing ever. You got to go to leaderboard. And then if you look at the conquest, right? So we're looking at Moon. Usually the top 10 are the ones that are actually active. Okay. So right now you got the Calendar, Propellerhead, Jack D. These are the guys that are actually kind of sort of playing right now. And then if you look at Sun, which is mostly Moon, you'll see, okay, that's a Moon player. Taser is actually Sun. Arc, that's you, I'm assuming. Pyrrhion's a Moon. Farnham's a Sun. Kiri's a Moon. Fa's a Moon.
Basically, just you don't have to look at the name. Just look at the guild tag, and that'll tell you.
Not really, because Arc is not typically Moon that I know of. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while.
Well, he's in the same. He's in the same guild as Kiri and Fa, and we know they're Moon.
Well, they're in an alliance. That's their alliance tag.
Oh, okay.
So
alliance tag? No, this is Shadows. They don't do alliances in Shadows. It's just straight up different guilds.
Well, no, but they're still alliances. They just don't have any meaning in the Shadows.
Oh,
Arc, you'll have to tell.
That.
Yeah.
But okay, never mind. Just.
Yeah, so he's got that tag because of an alliance. He's a solo guild.
Got it.
What do you usually play as far as faction? Well, yeah, you have to. If you're all in the Sun, you got to play with the Sun guys, right?
Man, Sun is dominating. Holy shit.
Well, that's because it's all Moon.
Yeah. Oh. No, it's not that it's all Moon. It's all Kiri and Fa. Empyrean. That's what it is.
Yeah, those three are the main ones, yeah.
Let's be honest, it's those three. It has nothing to do with Moon, Sun,
well,
or Earth.
Taser and Arc are second and third, so they're trying. They're not going to hold out. If Kiri gets serious, which she's already, obviously she's into 500 points now, almost 600 points. So yeah, she's that's pretty low for her. If she does the whole thing, she'll be over. She usually has way over 1,000, at least. Sometimes closer to 2, but we'll see. Yeah, so I don't know what, as far as last season. Well, that's because the only ones that do PvP are Farnham and Taser. None of these other guys. I don't recognize any of these other names. And in Earth, the only one that really does PvP that's constant, is Vikendi. So these three guys are the Assassins Guild, so they're going to kill. They'll just switch to whatever faction they need to. And then, but the one that likes to do PvP is Curse. He's the big dog usually with the PvPs. But when Curse is on now, because Farnham is Sun, so Farnham's kind of keeping Curse at bay, I think. Because, usually Curse will come get us. And there's some other ones. I don't know what happened to, what was that other guy that we used to fight all the time? The one that would come bleed us all the time in the forts. What was it? Oh, HT240.
240.
Yeah, he's been gone for a while, but that was another one that we used to fight all the time. But yeah, I think the reason that most of them are still in the dregs is because that's how they were brought up. That dreg shadow didn't exist until after the launch, because I think that they realized, and a lot of people realized, between the score manipulation and the the fact that the big guilds, see, the big guilds don't like factions, but their guilds are so big they are factions, right? So Winterblades is a faction. You can say whatever you want, but Winterblades is a faction. Death is a faction. They're huge, right? So they're the largest that we have. Let's put it that way. They used to be a lot bigger than they are now. But the fact of the matter is that's why all these other small guilds try to attach themselves to these, this phallic symbol eel here, whatever guild that is, that alliance, because they want to win, right? And who doesn't? I mean, technically in the shadow, I could switch my guild to Sun right now, and we would just be in the winning team. That's not a big deal. But the problem is that some of the people that we play with are still Moon, and our crafter would then be alienated, and we don't want to do that. So we have a crafter that we really like that's in another guild, and we don't want to alienate him. So what a lot of us have are alternate characters that we can qualify in the shadow just to manipulate the score, because the score is so easily manipulated. If you're not doing it, then you're just, you're very few. Most people are manipulating the score one way or the other. If you can, the accounts aren't that expensive. You can buy a couple accounts. You can make them whatever. You can play the 30 hours or whatever it is. Basically, you can just have them stand in there. I mean, as long as they're paid accounts, I don't even think the game company cares if you're just standing in the thing. Now, if they're free accounts or something, or they're not paid, then yeah, they'll probably throw you out of the game. But the game is so easily manipulated as far as the siege part, and it's one of the reasons why I think they need to give us different objectives, right? So they keep farting around with the rules, but they're not farting around with the objectives, which I think is a mistake. I think they need to do different objectives per Dregs campaign rather than different rule sets. The rule sets just annoy people. You know what I mean? It's like you go to play chess, but now we can only use pawns this time. It's like, come on, man. You know what I mean? It kills the whole concept in my mind. It's like, yeah, let's not change the rules a whole bunch. Let's find some good rules, use those, and then change the objectives each time. That would be better. Give people choices. Then if they want to go off for 2 weeks and have a break, it's not a big deal. I don't like that one. Maybe they have 5 different objective games that you can play, and if you don't like one that comes up, then you just, then you can take off and go touch grass for a couple weeks and come back. Yeah, I was thinking about the dregs a little bit too, and the shadows, but I'm not a big fan of the timers, not the way they're currently implemented, where you can only hit certain things at certain times. Most RTS games that we've played, are on a 24-hour schedule. There's no, time zone attacks and all this stuff. I think that one of the ways they can limit, how much certain, people can take over, and we're going to get into that, is I've got an idea for that. But I don't like the timers. Now, I don't mind a cooldown. Like, so say you take a fort, it has a 3, 4, 5 hour, whatever cooldown timer before it's up again, so that you have time to repair it. Mm-hmm. Right? Because most of the games we played with that other company, they all had that. There was a timer, right? So you'd be bubbled.
Yeah.
And then you had time to go fix your shit. And then when you put it back up, it went back online. I don't know why this game should be any different than that. It should just have a cooldown. You go fix your shit, and then you get ready for, whatever. But yeah, and I know there's people that work and do all that, but they do it in all these other games too, except somehow it's okay in an RTS, but it's not okay in Crowfall. I don't understand that. Do you Do you agree with that or not? Anybody?
Sorry, I'm trying not to curse out the company right now.
Well,
I
just
got
don't
kicked
say
out.
anything about dicks. You'll be fine.
Well, I just got kicked out of the game for the third time trying to guess.
Yeah, it's broken, dude. That was the whole start of this show was like, yeah, it's broke. It's broken. They got 5
What-
days before they do their new
wasn't
Dregs
this
launch.
Wasn't this patch delayed once already because they were having issues?
Yeah, it was broke
Yeah.
right out of the gate.
Obviously,
They didn't fix it all the way. No,
They-
they
yeah,
put
they
some
need to
kind
roll it
of
back.
glue and tape and bubble gum.
no, they need to roll it back.
If they roll it back, we won't have Shadows either. So I think
Don't
they
care.
just opted for it. So
Don't care. I honestly do not care.
you're not going to
If
play
the
if
game-
it's just Skypoint.
If the game doesn't work, why play in the first place?
If the game doesn't have Shadows, you won't play either.
The game doesn't work.
I know,
If you're
but I don't think it
constantly
matters.
If you're constantly getting kicked out, why the hell would you play the game in the first place if it doesn't work?
Well, I haven't been kicked out.
And I'm not having that issue as well.
Have you guys been trying to get into EKs?
Absolutely
Yeah,
not,
I've
because
been
it's
going back
dangerous.
and forth.
Do you need me to open it for you or something?
No, I'm just trying to sit there and get gear for my tunes.
Wow.
I've been going back and forth here the last 45 minutes or so, putting gear on my guys before I take them into the shadow. I haven't had any issues as of yet.
All right, fine. It's just me and I got Runt Luck. Moving on.
So
I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just not having that issue. Now, Kirimara gets killed or kicked out every time she goes to a gate. She was getting kicked out.
yeah,
So it's there. There's definitely a broken issue. There's something going on.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
oh, no doubt. So oh, looks like Curse is on. That means Farnham's probably not. So yeah, I don't know. Did you guys didn't comment on? I mean, we kind of got sidetracked again. So
Sorry, I had a little rage moment. I'm sorry.
yeah, now I don't remember what. RTS, the 24-hour the timers. I don't like the timers.
I don't. Yeah, the scheduled siege timers. I don't agree with that because basically you're almost being forced into a gentleman's agreement which makes,
Well, and they said in the dregs you can siege anytime. I don't know. I've not played that one really. So, but yeah, I think it should just be 24 hours on everything.
Yeah, or if people have an issue with that, then the company can sit there and ideally up the AI's intelligence for the guards and just the guards. So during siege time, whenever your fort's up for grabs, which in this case,
Yeah, I
would be
heard there was a way
always-
to do that previously where you could actually upgrade the guards to better and better. I don't know if that's still a thing.
That just upgrades the damage they do. That doesn't necessarily upgrade their intelligence to defend the fort. Because as we said before, it's pretty easy to sit there and circumvent majority of the guards, and the one or two that you aggro, you can just sit there and gank real easily.
I don't know. It took us a while to get to that point, though. Extreme.
Yeah, I
we
mean-
didn't go in there and circumvent them right away.
A level
We got
30
killed
can't do
several
that shit.
times.
Yeah.
That was
No.
that was after they changed the guards, and we had to sit there and figure it out. But my point is if you want the forts, keeps, whatever, to sit there and be siegeable all the time, then the guards need to be a bit more intelligent when it comes to defending the fort, keep whatever when you're not around.
Well, they could let you put up other defenses too,
Yeah.
whether it's a trebuchets or not trebuchet, but ballistas,
Listen, yeah, that's
mines, all kinds of shit you could put out. You could buy mines and lace the damn place with mines or whatever. Normal shit. Other kinds of posts. I mean, the guards are great, and it would be nice if they were smarter, but they could give us other things to defend the bases with while we're not there.
Yeah, but as you said, like, have a guard able to sit there and sit on a trebuchet, to sit there and shoot out the not trebuchet, ballista, to shoot up the trebuchets or CG if you're not around.
Well, yeah, or whatever. Yeah,
You know,
yeah. The
you know.
ballista could have a guard on it. Sure, that's fine. But yeah, I don't. I mean, most games that we played, they would just have the trebuchet there, and it would just be automatic.
However you want to do it.
Or the ballista would just be yeah, whatever. Yeah, it could have a mounted guard in the ballista.
Well, I just don't understand the timer thing. I don't understand why they even need it. I don't.
Well, I think it was because, they were talking about maybe casuals, blah, blah, blah. It's like, look, we're just as casual as anybody else, and it's okay with us. If we come back and all our work's broken, well, then we either fix it or we just say, yeah, let them have it, Then it's more of a decision. And
Depending on the
technically,
score.
if you're in a faction or whatever, it's not yours anyway. It belongs to the faction or the guild. And there should be technically other people there. And if you're a solo player, okay, you might be able to take a fort or whatever, but that's really not that's not feasible.
Not with these cards, not by yourself.
Yeah, the
Really
keeps
pretty
I think the
special
buff
guy.
system is kind of dumb. They should be able to move those somewhere else or put them in every the thing is about those buffs is those buffs are too helpful. Like, you know what I mean? They're too helpful. They actually, in some cases, I mean, the cavalcade buff, everybody wants that. So, do we really have to go through the whole process of taking a keep to get that buff, or can we do some other thing? Can we move some of those things somewhere easier to access?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, Ark's feeling me there. Okay, yeah. Do something. Do some sort of a PVE thing. They need way more PVE things. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
That's what I'm talking about when I say they need new content. We need things to fight besides each other because, to be honest, that shit is expensive. You know what I mean? So unless you're like a superpower, and you've got 17,000, some of these guys have like all these templates and all this stuff. Yeah, we don't have none of that. We just go over to Aranth's and try to find the cheapest version of whatever the hell we want, and we get it, and we slap it on, we go. And that's even if we go that far. A lot of times it's just, here, I got some war tribe laying around, let's just throw that on, whatever it is. But that fighting each other thing can be very costly. And I hear people a lot of times say, well, I don't want to wear my good gear in the shadow. So they want all this nice stuff, but they don't even want to really use it. So, and maybe they use it in the dregs, maybe they don't. But I think more of what they're using it for is to protect themselves. They're not using it to be offensive, because being on the offense in this game, unless you're really good, can be a little tricky. It can be very difficult, and it could be costly if you're not winning. So if you're not sneaking up on people in the hot zones after they burn their cooldowns, you're going to get killed a lot, right? If everything's an even one-on-one, then you're not going to win as much as you do if you're sneaking up on them, jumping out from behind a bush and attacking them, basically scaring the shit out of them. So they're all discombobulated, and then you're going to win more. So anyway, that's one of the things. The other thing, what I was thinking, the timer's going away, and then, like I said, the buffs, they should rework that. I don't, like I said, in the shadows, there's just really no reason to even have a keep. We don't need it as a headquarters. We don't use it as a headquarters. Basically, most guilds don't. They get one, they put the buffs in, mostly for crafting, even not even the war buffs, and then that's it. They hope for the best. So I don't know if they know that their player base is playing that way or what, but I hope they do.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, small keeps would be fine.
I mean, they're paying attention at all.
But if it's just for buffs, I mean, let's just rework the buffs. I don't care, the keeps. I mean, we can definitely rework the buffs. Maybe you kill 200 monsters, you get access to a buff. I don't know, whatever it is, I'm just making shit up. But another thing I think they should do, as Monumental. I know Ace sold the company to Monumental. Basically, all the investors and Kickstarters and all that stuff kind of went to the wayside because we invested with Artcraft and not Monumental. So what I'm thinking is they should do something for the people that invested, maybe compensate them somehow in the game or whatever, even though they're not required to do so. I think that would be a nice thing. Just make them feel good, hey, thanks for the support, but, you really got to go find J. Todd Coleman and ask him about your other monies if you want them back or whatever. But, you know, I don't know. That's one thing I just had on my mind in my bullet list here. What was that? Oh, nothing.
No, I didn't say anything.
Yeah. So, and then I was also talking about the non-vesseled characters. I think really we gotta, if they don't give us you remember in the last Terminator Dregs they had the PVE zone where it was no.
Oh yeah, the whole temple zone. Yeah, that huge temple zone to level up in. And
Yeah, that is nice. I and I mentioned this in some of the commentary. I think that a non-vesseled character should technically be able to play that way. You know what I mean? I think the vessel should be the commitment to PvP, just like they have in Black Desert. When you get to level 49, they tell you, "Hey, look, if you do this, then you can go to the next level, but then you're open to PvP." I don't see why that should be a problem. I think that would encourage more new players to show up, and they might see each other because more people will play there. Now, as far as what resources you can get, stuff like that, sure, that's something that we could debate about. Which reminds me, green discs have been reintroduced into Skypoint.
They have,
but on a really limited factor. So you still get all the housekeeping, but you actually get a few greens too.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah,
Was
it's
that by accident?
I don't think so. I think it was in there. It was. I think it was originally intended that way, but I don't think it worked out because I used to notice. You know how when you
Grew up and left a slider move the wrong direction or something?
I don't know, but when you go in and when you're fighting in the Tainted Hills or whatever, you would see sometimes the green smoke come out, and that usually means that it's a special item, you know, or the in like if you're doing chopping wood and a special item comes out, you see an orange flash or an orange smoke bomb thing. So in the Sky Point, there was still green smoke sometimes, but it wasn't giving you the green item. So I think maybe that was fixed. Maybe that's what they intended. I don't know why they just don't drop. The common vessels are actually good for new players because they can get their miners for free. Because you just want a miner disc when you're in Sky Point anyway, or a common one in Sky Point anyway. And if you want to build bigger ones, you can. So you can get up to green now. And maybe that counts towards crafting as well. But I know it exists, at least in Tainted Hills. They fixed that part. Obviously, I don't know why they haven't done this yet, but, you know, the avian cliffs, the birds still get stuck. This has been going on for months and months and months. You know, you go through all that work killing that alpha bird, and then he just kind of hangs in the air. And you can get him down sometimes, but it's not easy. So, yeah, the vessel process, you know, I like the fact that you can buy up to blue now. I don't know that, you know, in the future, you know, I mean, if crafting becomes viable again, I'd love to see it. What was your dislike in the feedback topic, that greens were reintroduced, or that
I think I was talking about the Griffins.
Oh, the Griffins, yeah. They need to fix the Griffins, and the a lot of them are broke, but the thralls, you know, with the discs going into the rocks sometimes, that's not cool. Yeah, the bugs, the birds need fixing. There was another one too. Which other ones are? Oh, the guineas. I don't know. Is that you basically have to you have to tap them on the head to get them to attack you. I'm not sure if that was as intended or what, but I mean the guineas kind of work funny.
What do you mean you're talking about in PvP or PvE?
PvE.
What do you mean you got to tap them on the head? Every time I go into an Underhill camp, they want to sit there and absolutely wreck me.
If you get close enough to them, yeah, but you got to get really close to them, and sometimes you got to push them. Sometimes you actually literally have to hit them to get them to turn around and go, oh, you know, hey. I don't know. Their detection just seems to be off to me. What other ones? The birds for sure. The birds are the worst ones. The thralls a little bit. Yeah, the spawning in the thralls, right? So if you go to the Tainted Hills, if they don't reboot the server every day, the spawn gets all fucked up. So you can't they're supposed to be like 5 in one area and 4 in one area and 3. And if you do it right, you can just kind of go around in a circle, kind of like a Black Desert-y thing.
Yeah.
But if not, and a lot of times what happens is they'll like the solo bosses usually don't spawn. I don't know if you have to kill a certain number of elites to get that to happen or what. But if you get a solo boss, it usually will screw up your rotation. But if you do it just right, you should be able to go, and it's like 5, 4, 3, 5, 5, 4, 3. And then you just go around but with the way the Sky Point works now, sometimes those spawns get jacked and those guys never come back. So if you kill a spawn, so you kill a spawn of 5, right? They will respawn again in the exact order you kill them, pretty much. So, if you watch where they're standing, you can see, like, if you killed a guy in a position first, he'll usually spawn again first. So it's on a timer of some kind, right? So then usually, but no matter what, so what you do is you get them all in a group and then you kill them all, right? And then technically that should make them all respawn sometimes at the same time, but it doesn't always work. And once the spawn gets jacked up, a lot of times there'll be missing ones that never come back, which I'm not sure what that is. I don't think that's as intended, to be quite honest. At the top of the hour, when the zone resets, a lot of times it'll pop in anything that's missing, like the thralls. It like resets them all and they just all come in at the same time. But if they get to that point where they're missing out of the rotation and they don't come back, then at the top of the hour it won't pop them back out. So that's another area they need to fix too. I think it's part of the fix for guards getting stuck on aggro, which is ended. Oh, yeah. The thing is with the thralls too, that when you're attacking the thralls, if they try to attack you, a lot of times they'll just kind of run out there and just kind of get stuck, and then they'll repop back to where you're supposed to go. But I'm talking about sometimes they disappear and they never come back, not for like the rest of the day, because I happen to frequent the thralls sometimes when I'm in the mood. So hold on a minute. And then there we go. So so they need to fix a bunch of that stuff. Okay, so the events, I was talking about this before, but the events should be more prominent in the database to let us know what's going on, because like I said, it's an undiscussed thing and it needs to be more prominent so people can tell what's going on, rather than only certain select few people knowing that you have to set this special chat tab up and monitor it. It should be up on the screen on the left somewhere, and it should do the little flashy thing.
Talking about that event, okay. I thought you meant like a special seasonal event or something. Okay.
No, the events tab, the one that shows you everything that's going on in a zone. And remember, I was talking about, this is the new thing I was going to say, or if I hadn't said this yet, or if I did, it also needs to report when a player gets killed.
I thought it did, doesn't it?
No, it reports when a guard gets killed.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's the whole problem. It needs to report when a player gets killed.
Snitcher.
It's a snitch.
It's a big snitch.
Yeah, why are they giving all the, it encourages PvP? No, it doesn't. It encourages like people to bring 6 guys and smash you into the ground is what it encourages. It doesn't encourage any kind of PvP. I was
taught not to be a snitch.
Yeah. I mean, if people can't see the fires and the warnings and the horns, really, but yeah, if it's going to put that in the event log, it should put in the event log when a player gets killed and where they got killed at, is my opinion. That would make it at least even on both ends of the spectrum. Why does it tell on you for killing something that's not real, but it doesn't even, your poor buddy little Joey over there got killed and it don't say nothing. Poor little Joey calls you up on the phone. I got killed, and you're like, oh man, I didn't even know. Gee, but Guard Bob over there, he got killed just 2 minutes ago. I'm gonna go save Guard Bob. Yeah, doesn't make any sense to me.
Nada.
Not a one. Oh, and we also talked about we need to be able to turn off them stupid messages at the top of the hour. Those things lag the holy bejesus out of my game. The I guess they call them what, toast messages or something.
Oh yeah.
At the top of the hour, it comes up and says blah 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 is active, blah 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 is disactive, blah 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 is no longer under blah blah blah, and it's like 27 messages. All that shit needs to be able to be turned off. We don't need to see all that. If the events were up on the left-hand side, you could look in the events log and see what's going on. And it doesn't take as much.
I 100% agree with that.
It doesn't take as much bandwidth to send text messages to the event log as it does to display 600 messages that we don't care about. The events tab should be more yes, right. Titles. Oh, yeah. When are they bringing? They don't have. And one thing they could do for content type stuff is, we're supposed to have titles for one, and then we were also supposed, and they don't have any achievements. You can never get any achievements for doing stuff. Like, hey,
In general, just needs to be better.
Yeah, they need to work on that.
And
So
rewards suck.
Yeah.
And the rewards for shadow campaigns and
they're
Greg's
fucking
campaigns,
horrible.
they're terrible.
Yeah.
They're absolutely
And they're
Rogue's
easily
one of my goals.
manipulated.
5 days in the standard shadow.
Yeah.
For that. And
Yeah.
it's not worth it.
You can basically just stand in there and get rewards every month. You don't even got to play the game.
To me, the shadow's only good for one thing: taking my characters and leveling them. That's it.
And that's fine if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think they should encourage more of that by giving us more to do. Because we get sick of leveling on the same characters all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, what was it? So for Moon last campaign, we got the legendary award in all the categories.
Yeah, we did.
I've already burnt through all my gold, all the reward gold. I've already gone through it all.
Yeah, you'd probably burn through it all, no matter how much they give you. But
Well, my point
it's
is,
still not enough for the amount of
shouldn't-
time when the things we're doing. It's nowhere near it. It's
I'll
just
say-
horrible.
My point is, we got the first place tier reward in every single category. It should not take me 3 minutes to go through all of that. I'm not saying it should last me
It
forever
isn't worth the
either.
squeeze.
But yeah, I'm not saying it should last forever, but it shouldn't sit there and be able to go through that quickly. And this is another reason why I would much prefer a global marketplace. Just because the player,
So you can go through it in 2 minutes?
No, the players.
What the? How does that?
No, because their fear is, oh, we don't want players sitting there bottoming out the price. Like, no, the players aren't going to bottom out the price. Prices are going up. So, I mean, I had a connection there, and I lost it because I got interrupted, but there's something along the lines of players controlling the price and therefore also dictating, ideally, or the devs being able to sit there and determine how much gold is where we should be able to get. They're trying to control everything, which they shouldn't be trying to control everything.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think it's something they should be that concerned with what the pricing is anyway. But
No,
between the players should decide that. The game can offer suggestions or a minimum, right? Doesn't Black Desert do that, where you can only go so low?
the game caps out the bottom, but aside from that, that very rarely ever happens, especially with the popular items. It's usually fluctuating between the high to mid-high range.
Yeah.
But my point is the devs can sit there and use that information to determine what would be an appropriate amount of gold or conquest coins or whatever as reward, as opposed to just having a flat rate for everything regardless. One can play off the other and help make a better experience and help make the rewards more worthwhile.
Yeah, they should give you more. If you're really participating, then you should really get more rewards, I believe.
Yeah, but does that make more sense now? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah, Well, as long
Okay.
as you didn't, but you just coupled it with a global market, which was like you just said you didn't want to spend money in 3 minutes, but if you had a global market, you could spend it faster. That's what
No,
I was
global
going with.
market's just easier to sit there. It consolidates everything into one place. It's easier to determine prices and whatnot, as opposed to having everything spread out across 50 EKs, majority of which are closed, and those that are
Which
open.
we don't have a favorites button for, which we have to
Yeah,
type in every time we go to visit them.
and majority of the EKs you go to that are open, the vendors are either empty or closed. Like a
3 hour timer on the EK, so it may
okay,
not even be open when you're ready to go
yeah,
there.
like I just left errands, and out of the 50 or so vendors I went to, less than half were even open. And of those that were open, an even smaller amount actually had items in them.
Yeah, it's pretty slim pickings right now. Yeah, I understand that it's not an easy issue to fix, Ark, but
Yeah.
at the same time, we spend like most of our weekends every weekend playing like hardcore. We play maybe a few hours during the week, maybe every night for an hour or two, and then we get all done with all that 35 days of that, and then we just get like meh, and it's like, so what's the alternative, right? So we can all decide, well, we're just not going to work as hard, which I think we have. So now we're just kind of, you know what I mean? It's just putting us in a position where we don't want to play the game because we don't feel like we're going to get rewarded for playing it.
Well, that's the end result. We go in and we find something else to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do. I can't speak for everybody, but I just go find a different game to play.
The
Because it's just not worth 35 days of my freaking life and my off time for what they're giving me. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. So I mean, so yeah. So what he's talking about, yeah. The thing with the gold for the, yeah, I don't like their system for the vendors because you can't go on vacation, right? So they used to have the same problem in Ultima Online with housing. They added a tax to the deal. So when you bought or purchased the house, you had, and I'm glad they didn't do this to the EKs because that would totally suck. But you had to keep paying to keep your house going. So, but they had a longer. They didn't have this back charging thing. You know what I mean? Like, but and you didn't normally have visitors either. But this was like personal. I think that, yeah, I don't like the taxing on the vendors. The taxes that the vendors make should go to the player or the owner of the EK, not to the game. Um,
I'm gonna jump in here real quick. Art, we're not saying we don't like the crafting or don't want to craft or we don't want to PvP or don't want to siege. We're asking for variety. There is no variety to it right now. The siege hasn't changed at all, and there's really no motivation or reason to siege at this point in time. The crafting system could use a little tweaking to make it less to make the barrier to entry less difficult. I mean, what they did was in that experimental dregs run with the super crafting and all of that. That was a nice start and possibly a template they could use to sit there and fine tune the crafting to make it more accessible to more player base. I personally don't mind PvPing. I enjoy it. But the cost of PvP is outrageous. The durability loss you get for losing is insane, even on crafted gear with high durability rates. I took
yeah.
what was it on my alt account? I took in my tune into shadows, full durability on mostly crafted gear. Some of it was War Tribe because it alt, so it was poor. And after about 2 to 3 fights, my durability was down to a quarter. The durability loss for PvP is just insane. So it's not that we don't like the mechanics. We're merely suggesting ideas to fine tune the mechanics to make the game more accessible for more people and make it more enjoyable for everyone in general. Obviously, not everyone's going to like every idea we pitch.
Personally,
So,
don't see how anybody
I mean,
even figures out how to even start crafting in this game.
yeah.
There's no information. There's no help. There's no recipe to tell you what you need for this and this and this unless you click on the J. Then you got to do this. Then you got to go tie your left shoe. Then tie your right shoe.
Well, to be fair, didn't they sit there and add in when you mouse over a recipe, it gives you the tooltip and everything, so it shows you what everything is? That's nice.
That's better.
Yeah, Hovel and Hunt, there have been suggestions to front load the crafting so new players aren't so disadvantaged. Yeah, and it'd be nice if they, take some of the suggestions. I'm not saying combine every single exploration disc into one super disc that they did in Dregs, but the the simplified recipes was nice. It made it much more accessible, at least in the beginning, and maybe keep the more complicated ones for end game crafting once you're there. Let's see. Honestly, try joining Alliance and Dregs. You'll get some good sieges, access to good crafters, and maybe find some fun people to learn from. It's a fair point. I can't argue that.
We have friends. We just, a lot of them are in Sun right now, but we do have friends. But that's not a problem. I think if you look at any other MMO, they all evolve over time. They add more things to do. There's not just one play mode to get into, And I agree with Extreme. It's just too expensive to PvP. PvP, if you want more people to do it, you really have to make it more accessible to them, and not the cost is devastating. I mean,
it's huge too. If you go up against a guy that has all that heavy gear on and you don't stand a chance.
Yeah, I mean our
our
crafters are some of the cheapest in the game. We can get gear. It's just, but when you're spending, for us, 50,000, 100,000 is a lot of gold unless we're out there farming. So, but there's a lot of zones so you have a zone that they make a hot zone. They didn't make the hot zones for us to level faster and get money faster. They made the hot zones so that somebody can come kill you. And that's where it gets confusing to people. I'm just here to farm. Why am I getting killed? It's hard to explain that to people, for me anyway.
I sure hope this is broken because our vendors over
Copy.
here
Yeah.
outside the mire are now gone.
Yeah, see, that doesn't work for us because we don't 1 to 2 hours of harvesting in the thing for everybody. We got one guy in our guild that likes that shit. And the rest of them 1 to 2 hours. Yeah. It sounds good in theory, but it just doesn't play out that way.
No one has explained it in my personal opinion. No, they haven't.
It's because every time we try to, you sit there and go into a coma.
Because it's crafting, and crafting is garbage.
It's terrible.
Well, that's on you, buddy. We've tried. What do you mean no one's explained? You've gone harvesting with us. At the last Shadow campaign at the beginning, you feel...
No, you know what I do? I don't go harvest. You know what I do? I go do what I do best. I tank shit so you guys can fucking harvest. That's what I do. I take my guy out there and I kill everything that's in the way from you guys going and pounding rocks.
Bitch, you were sitting there next to me with a knife in hand trying to carve up an
And I
elk.
couldn't cut one piece. You realize I went through 2 knives and didn't get one single piece of what I was cutting on.
You are using a knife made out of knotwood.
Okay, I'm using a knife made out of knotwood. Exactly right. That's my point. I have no idea what the hell to do because I have no clue on how to even go cut that shit up. None.
Yeah, I went out one time and tried to help Dino. He needed body parts. So I got out there and then I had to make all this stuff. And then I found out I couldn't even make a shovel good enough to help him. Because I didn't have all these discs and stuff. And
I got to have all these different discs to make a tool to go do this shit. It's insane.
That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. Yeah.
And then there's nowhere I can go open up a book or read something that tells me what I need to do in the order I need to do it in to do this shit. There's no information on that crap. I have to depend on somebody else. Thank God I got a group of guys if I wanted to learn to craft, which I don't, so don't get any bright ideas. Like, maybe we're don't talk about it. If I didn't have you guys here, I wouldn't know the first thing about any of it.
See the can of worms you opened, Ark?
Information. There's none.
Or not Ark, but
There's no information. The
Look
fucking
what you
tutorial is garbage. Absolutely garbage.
You just
Garbage.
had to.
you just had to bring up crafting, didn't you?
You know, I have a 250 resistol thing that I'm sitting here looking at right now in my J panel. I have no fucking clue. It's an enchant. It's telling me I need a back piece to put the enchant on. Okay, where's the fucking back piece at? There's no information. It tells me where the back piece is. Do I go somewhere and I buy the back piece?
No. You should have one.
I don't.
Oh,
I have
then
an
you can't
enchant
use it
for
yet.
one.
Yeah, you have to wait till you get a back piece.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
Garbage.
So so this obviously some of these guys, this is their first time. We don't, we kind of don't read like the forums and stuff all the time like some people do, and that's one of the problems with the game, is that all this info is like spread out over 20 miles of websites and videos and things, and it's like it's very difficult. And I'm not even sure why we ended up on this road exactly, but some of our guys like doing different things, but
Sure, like
we're not going to be, not everybody in the guild I'm in are crafters, so it is more difficult. And there's no being in an alliance for us isn't really an option. We don't really trust anybody. And, you see stories constantly about people screwing each other over or not sharing the rewards. I definitely do not want to go to a thing where I'm in an alliance and that I have to rely on them to give me the rewards. That just ain't happening. That's not a thing. So the crafting is for crafters. I'm sure it is amazing, and that's great. I want them to make that experience for people that don't craft. I mean, you guys are like, look, Hubble's just going on. He's already did 3 chapters, right? So he loves the crafting. Great. I want that same experience for what I do, which is not crafting, whether it's PvP or PvE.
We do need craft. I don't.
We love the crafters. No problem with that.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that shouldn't be my job too. I don't want to be that. You be that. I buy your stuff. I go get the gold. I go get the stuff and I bring it to you, and then you give me the thing that you made, and then I go thank you, and then I put it on and I go beat the shit out of stuff and get you some more stuff. That's how some of us do that.
Absolutely.
Now, our Extreme's kind of a hybrid because he kind of likes crafting, but he's never been able to really fully embrace it. But Highlander and I are kind of anti-crafter. We don't even like going together.
No, I'll do it if I have to.
Well, I know that people complain about crafting. It's mostly because it's too complicated. Like, it's like a 7-step system is just, in my opinion, is way too many steps. And having to go to even craft, what was it, a shovel, you have to have 3 other proficiencies before you can even build the shovel. A shovel of good quality, and then of better than average quality. It's too much. You know what I mean? It's like, I might do it if it was simpler. Yeah, if it was like 3, 4, maybe 4, but anything more than that, and that's just, to me, is just beyond annoying. Like, I can't, like, I'm just like, no, I don't even make tools. I just ask my crafter guy to give me something, and he makes the best tools. So, he according to him, okay, I don't know if this is true, but so I don't have a problem with craft. Like, in other games that have PvP in them, this one is the most complicated crafting, and maybe some crafters really dig that. I like the rarity. I like that there's a kind of a rarity of crafters. Obviously, if they get rid of all the crafters, then it'll be a PvP game. Oh God, no! But did I say that out loud? But if they tone it down a little bit, I think more people would be interested. And and like Extreme said, I don't care about the super ultra mega harvester thing, whatever. I don't care about any of that. All I care about is, look, I want a sword, Oh, here, here's how you build one, or here's how you buy one.
Yeah, the
or
steps
whatever.
on how to build it. What you need to go through to build it. There's none of that.
Well, there is that, but it's so complicated. And then you have to have all these discs and all these things. It's just too complicated.
So Ark also brings up a good point, is that the crafters don't really want the gold. They want the materials to make the stuff, which is where
the harvesting comes in. Yeah.
Well, it's where I have an issue with crafting is I can sit there and work my way past the 6, 7 step process because once you figure it out and put in whatnot, it goes by pretty quick, believe it or not. The problem I really have is how expensive it is. It is so expensive.
And a lot of the items are so rare.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not
And
going
the
to
closer you
spend.
get to Lego, the more expensive it gets.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Yeah.
spend 3-4 hours. And these guys do like they get all these potions and they do all these things and they set up a time and they go like, look, I don't want anybody giving me work to do, right? So I don't
That
want
much.
not that kind of work. You know what I mean?
No.
If I get on some night and somebody's like, "Hey, you want to go do this?" and you know, let's go pound some rocks, fine. But even for me to be able to help them at this point, I had to upgrade all my harvesting stuff.
Yeah.
So it took me a long time to be able to even, you know, find them because I don't craft, so I don't get the discs to make more discs and to get, you know what I mean? It's just too complicated for me.
Yeah. Either reduce the amount of steps and or reduce the amount of mats needed to craft. So I think it was one of our, well, he's not in our guild, but he's a crafter. He's one of our good friends. He told me what materials he needed to sit there and craft me a new set of armor because mine's about to die. And he said, okay, if you want it, was it epic grade with this, this, and this, you need to give me this much material. I spent hours upon hours last Shadows campaign just mining ore, nothing else. And I still didn't get enough. I think I'm still short some.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
there's no
and then
guarantee
some
of what you're
things,
going to get.
yeah, some things you can't even get without multiple people with 2 people, and it's just like,
Yeah.
come on, guys. I mean, that's a little ridiculous. You know,
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
was
you got people
harvest-
multi-boxing. You got people, you know what I mean? You got, you know, Dino will hand me a hammer and go hit this once, and then he'll do the rest. I mean, it's just so weird. It's like, why do we have to go through all that? Why isn't there
don't
just
get
a
me
way for
started
him
on
to
the mother
bypass
loads.
that? Yeah,
don't
the
get me
mother
started
loads
on the
are
mother
really
loads.
bad.
I hate. Yeah, there needs to be a compromise with the mother loads. If you go do it with a friend, awesome. You get more out of it. But
Mega.
there should be a way for someone to do it by themselves. Maybe if not as good,
Absolutely.
maybe you don't get as much materials out of it, or the higher quality ones are hard or rarer when they drop.
Yeah.
But
I disagree.
I don't like feeling. Well, they got to have a compromise that's somewhere. So.
The compromise that you don't get as much as you want because you're a solo player is garbage. That's a horrible compromise. If
Fine,
I'm in here playing by myself, I should be able to get anything else that the group guy can get with a group. It's insane that you can't get it if you're by yourself. That's
That
crazy.
or the rare items just don't drop us off. Whatever. Point is, there should be a way for a solo player to sit there and go smash a bigger rock by themselves without feeling beholden to someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like, yeah, I had to get my stuff up to Epic Blue just to even be able to help harvest even a little bit. And that was like a pain in the ass, and that cost a fortune. I was like, why do I got to spend all this money?
Harvesting in a group may be fun, but at the same time, it also depends who you're harvesting with, and it can be very annoying.
If you go harvesting with me, it's going to be annoying.
Oh yeah,
gonna be all
don't
kinds
take
of
Highlander with you.
sarcasms involved.
Holy shit balls, dude.
Well, I say it's going to be annoying because, I mean,
I don't think that you should have to be in a group to do anything.
No, you should.
It's
there
not-
are people who play this game without a group. They don't have a group.
We don't need to be forced into. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like people a whole lot. And and a lot of times, it's like
would've
if you
never
want it
guessed
done
that
right,
about you.
do it yourself. You remember that old thing? You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, a lot of times I just want to do stuff, and I don't want to have to be bothered to try to find somebody to come do it with me. And sometimes it's a spur of the moment thing, like, oh shit, I should get this. Just because I want to go harvesting doesn't mean that Extreme wants to go too. You know what I mean? So you're literally like somebody's getting dragged out of something else they wanted to do, and I don't like, like I said, I don't like people giving me work to do. I don't want to give them work to do. You know what I mean? If they're already doing it and I'm like, hey, I'll come help you, that's one thing. But if it's like, yeah, we have to do this or we have to do that, then I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, so like I said, my main issue with the whole mother load and harvesting with friend is if you're both crafters, you're both going after the same materials, and somewhere along the line, someone's going to get butt hurt because they think you didn't split it evenly enough, or you took something they wanted even though you needed it too, and
Yeah, see the double boxing thing. He's talking about the very same thing. That's what
Yeah,
we have a crafter friend that does the same thing. You shouldn't
yeah.
have
But
to
I'm
do
saying,
that.
but I mean, saying like the whole people getting butter. We've had that issue already with
Yeah.
someone, two people going for the same loot. Neither one of them wanted to
Yeah, your
share.
multiple accounts shouldn't be just
Yeah.
standing within a multiple account and pound on the rock to start a
Yeah.
bucket. That's crazy.
Yeah, you should be able to simulate the double boxing with an item or or a skill, but not. Yeah, it's just
Well, maybe that's how they keep the player base up, though. Same guy has multiple accounts, and they count that.
well, come on. But how many people are smart enough to even do that? That's a
I
pretty
don't
low
know.
amount.
I wouldn't spend the extra money to have another account.
I mean,
There
you're
ain't no
not
way.
doing it. Extreme don't do it. I don't do
No.
it.
I mean, I have another account, but I'm not using it to sit there and multi-box.
No, we
Warlord.
just use that to manipulate. Either go to be able to farm
Yeah.
hot zones without Farnham smashing us to pieces, or just whatever. But
Yeah, I use it to annoy you guys and give certain people's positions away. Apparently,
oh, you are bad about
Well, I
that.
don't know. The account that I have, I've got from a buddy who wanted me to come play, so I'm here coming to play because I have a buddy
yeah.
in the game, and he gifted me an account.
An idiot buddy that paid for all the
That's
entire
a
guild to come play.
possibility.
Yeah.
I've got a really nice keep in the EK.
You do. You have a keep and a manor.
And a man, well, I've never even set foot in that fucking manor.
You should
But-
go in there. That's a nice manor.
Yeah. I did put my Obelisk of Light thing up, but not to get off the subject. I did put that Obelisk thing up.
That's the
today.
issue with the non-existent economy. You have the ability to.
I sure hope
Yeah.
this vendor's broken.
Yeah, a lot of our vendors have lower end items on it. Same thing because they're training to be able to build like vessels now and stuff. We have a guy that builds vessels, and two guys actually, but one of them does higher quality than the
We
other
would
one.
be in so much trouble if we didn't have those fucking guys.
Yeah,
in the
if-
game, we wouldn't be able to play.
Well, yeah, we would have.
horrible.
It would be pointless to even play at that
It
point.
would. It would be. Absolutely, it would be.
Because I mean like what I like to do in games, and I do this pretty much in every game, is I like to build characters, like new characters. I like to try them all, and I like to know about what their mechanics are and stuff. But I'm not necessarily like, I don't like go out to like own the noobs and all that. I don't do any of that kind of thing. But I don't mind going and fighting the monsters. I don't mind the occasional fight when somebody wants to fight me for the spawn or whatever. That's fine. I'm good with that.
Yeah,
But that
None of us complaining about that.
we don't
part
complain
of
about
it.
that kind of thing. That's all
No.
part of the game. But it's just the constant. I can't do constant fighting, especially at the cost, right? Because the guy, if you're winning, it's great, but if you're not, it's expensive as shit. So it's like, those that are really good and really super geared, their stuff lasts probably a long time. And they're okay with that, and maybe they're super rich, and maybe they're bored out of their skulls or whatever, and that's fine. But usually, people that lose a lot are not as opt to go engage in that. And I'll show you something. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was saying, someone in chat said that a factory copy set of gear should last you about 2 weeks.
Well, okay, so let's get into factory copying. That's people say it like everybody can do it. I can't factory copy anything.
Not even close.
I can't even think about it because I have a factory copy machine though. I have a Xerox in my castle, but I don't have whatever you got to have to make that thing work, which is discs or whatever, and you have to have a certain level, and you have to have, so you have to have like whatever, a Lego whatever, and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't care about all that. If it was just, hey, look, I want to copy this, and then I could spend 50,000 gold and get said item, I would be totally down with that. But I'm not down with Epic Disc, right? So Epic Disc is not something that just pops out of the air unless you find it over on Errands for $70,000. Yeah, no, you don't forget, because the first time you try to copy something, it doesn't work. So you got to go around. I had to ask some crafters like, hey, how come I can't just put this thing in here and make a copy? I don't understand.
And an hour later, we got the explanation after he went through all the shit.
We had to go through all these hoops.
An hour to go that
just
crap.
To figure it out. Like, so my copy machine is basically worthless to me. It's just worthless. Now I don't have a problem with the copying. I don't I wouldn't be unhappy if they let you repair items personally. And most people don't want to have to get new items all the time because the stats are going to change unless you're using factory copies, which, you know what I mean? It's just, it's making my head explode just thinking about it.
Ugh.
But let me show you guys something here. So this is something that I pass around, you know, as far as the PvP is concerned. And I know some people, the top 1% don't like that I show people this because this is what it looks like. Okay. So, there's one more thing I got to turn off here if I can find it. There we go. There you go. So now you should be able to see it mostly. I wish I would get rid of that thing. I don't need that. So there we go. So here's the problem with PvP. Okay. There's top 1% player base, right? They are really good. So let's just say, for an example's sake, let's just say Farnham's in the top 1%. Beats up everybody. Mostly because of surprise. There's another guy, though. What was that other guy's name? Blazon's really good.
Oh, Jesus.
Or was it Hayden or Hayden for them as well?
Aiden.
Yeah.
Hayden. Oh.
That son of a bitch was he killed
there goes the
4 of
train.
us with and was like Hardy was breathing heavy. Now, granted, he was using a Myrmidon, which are incredibly hard to kill.
No, he was not on a Myrmidon. He was on a
Yeah, he
Minotaur.
He's a
No.
Minotaur. It wasn't
Yes.
a Myrmidon, though.
Yeah, he was a Minotaur, but not a Myrmidon. He was a Ranger.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of people take a lot of things for granted. But here's this chart. Now, if you guys remember Tyrant or Gordon Walton, he just left the company on the 6th. He was the producer, executive producer. We have a new one now. But this is something that, and I made this chart just based on what he told me a long time ago. So the top 1% of the PvP players, right? They're not us, right? It's not you either, obviously, because if you were, you'd be arguing with us about everything about PvP. But so the thing is that they're up there, and then the rest of us are somewhere down on towards the bottom of that bell, right? So you could be here, you might be here, but you're not here. Okay. Let's say even here, there's a few players that are up this high, and you're not it. So you get a lot of stress, right? So when you're dead or you're not fighting, there's no stress. And when you're getting into fights with people, if you get in fights with the 1%, then you end up over here in panic. And this is what happens to people. This is why it doesn't work out very well for PvP MMOs. And it was one of the reasons why they, if that's the thing. Hubble understands. I know crafters do that. They say, well, you just get a crafter to do it. Well, okay, if you know the guy, right? So you got to meet him.
Find a crafter first.
Yeah, go find him. Anyway, so this is what happens when you're getting chased around and killed out of the blue in a hot zone. This is you over here in the panic zone. You panic because
put my name over there. By the way,
I wish
if
I could type on it, I would. But
Yeah.
see, I mean, when you're just say you're in a game. Most games they let you go around, you know, and farm things and do things, and people love to farm. Okay, people love to harvest. I don't have any problem with the harvesting and all that. People just love that. It's not my gig, but hey, you know, I'm not gonna besmirch them for liking the crafting because that's what most games do. And I don't know when this became such a big deal, but like I remember back when like Farmville came out, the amount of people that wanted to play that game was off the chain, man. I was just like, what happened? You know, like, you know, we tried for years to get them to put things in there where we could throw tomatoes at each other's farms and shit. They would never let us do it. But, you know, there's just a lot of people that just want to play the game. And this is what happens. So the top 1%, they're not spending any money because they're winning, right? So if you win, you don't take as much loss. When you lose, you got to pay. You either got to pay with durability
constantly,
or you got to you either got to spend more durability or you still got to spend durability, but you got to fly back to a respawn point, right? So that's where the problems come in, is that you're not the top 1%. Once you're there, if you ever get there, People think they're going to get there, but they don't. And there are just some people that are naturally good at PvP. They're just good at it. They figure out every mechanic, every spec, everything about the game, and they know every little detail. We have, Kirimara is one that knows. She knows how to counter everything because she knows every other class too. Like, we don't freaking know.
No.
They turn colors or do something weird. We're like, oh my God, look, they went nuclear. We don't get that. So if Oops. So what we have in these games, sorry, I muted myself, is you got to have the sheep, right? So the sheep are players that are willing to deal with the fact that there's going to be PvP and that they're probably going to die. Now, the way you do that, though, is you got to give them something else. Like, you got to give them, like, stuff to buy or whatever, and you got to give them, something fun to do.
Yeah, Yoink. Yeah.
So
Yoink.
the crafting, yeah, Yoink, I know him too.
Yeah,
he's bad. He's really bad. I don't like that he keeps trying to change the balance all the time. That drives me a little nuts, especially because I play a Vindy, and that's one he picks on a lot. But like, pick on the Myrmidons. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean that. Highlander. I was just kidding.
I'm scared.
Yeah. No, I actually made a Myrmidon because I wanted to see what the hell these guys were doing that was just kicking my ass so much. And I kind of figured out a lot of it. So it's like, so now I can either build a Myrmidon just to counter the other Myrmidons, or I can just be like, which is something I don't want to do, right?
You're experimenting a lot.
Oh yeah, we experiment all the time.
A lot of shit.
But that takes time too.
Done that.
And if we're yeah, but losing is not fun, especially when you're experimenting. Okay, so I mean, you can when you're rich and you've got crafters everywhere and you got gear laying around, yeah, experimentation's great. But when you're not doing that,
experience, losing that much makes people leave.
Yeah, I mean, even losing one time
get their shit pushed in
can make people leave.
Constantly. They're gonna go find something that's easier.
Especially nowadays, because people just aren't used to it anymore. I mean, when I started playing MMOs, there was really only one, right? So it was Ultima Online or nothing. And so I learned how to deal with all that, and it doesn't bother me to die. As I wasn't joking about getting the most deaths, because I do that on purpose to kind of show that it's not horrible, but it also cost me, 4 sets of armor and, crafted gear and all this shit to do that. So, I mean, I could have done it more cheaply, but I was also still trying to play the game too. And it depends on what you're trying to play. If you're playing Siege, then you have to engage, right? But a lot of people aren't even playing Siege anymore. So it's like if somebody goes in and takes the whole map, which is something I wanted to talk about, ways to keep people from taking the whole map. I don't think that if they take the whole map and they're in Moon, well, then we have nothing to do, right? Highlander and I are just sitting around waiting because there's nobody to attack. And in a lot of cases now in the Shadows, they don't even retaliate. They just let you have it, and then they just walk away. And the thing is with the taking stuff away is when you take something away from someone, it's actually more devastating to them if you don't take it over, because then they're compelled to rebuild it. And if that is expensive, which it is, especially for a small guild, then they only do it maybe once, sometimes twice. But well, no, I don't think they're ever going to make the casuals not feel like sacrificial lambs, to be honest. And a lot of the casuals don't mind it, okay, but they also hide, right? We hide all the time. So, like,
we call them seals.
Yeah, seal, baby seals.
Yeah, baby seals. Yeah.
Well, that's the new players, but even the veterans, you don't see them. The veteran casuals, you don't see them. They're in there.
No. They're there.
You just don't see them. I mean, I see them sometimes. You'll just be walking around and you'll see a little party of two out there mother loading or whatever. And you're like, man, I've never seen those names before, but that'll happen often if you wander around enough. But most people don't even want to wander around. They just want to come in, want to go to a spot, do whatever it is they want to do, and then they want to leave, which is that's more of a casual thing, right? And even some of the non-casuals, they just want to come in, they want to fight the whole time. So even though I don't want to fight with you right now, right? They make me fight with them. So then that's annoying, right? Because now I had to fight with them even though I didn't want to. And so now if they're cool, they usually only do you once, But there's some people that'll just keep killing you, keep killing you, keep killing you, keep trying to trick you again and again and again, and won't let you get back to what you were doing. Those people are super annoying. Because nobody wants to be hunted like that. You can't make casuals not feel like they're hunted because they are hunted. They know they're hunted. But you give them other things to do. You give them some monsters to go beat up on or some places to go where... The other thing, too, is a lot of the times the 1% is lazy. So they don't want to go looking for it, right? They don't want to... They'll go to the hot zones because, it's on the map. All those little places where the new graveyards are, one day they might have monsters in them. They'll have PKs in them too, player killers or solo roamers, I guess they call them nowadays. One crash every 10 minutes. You're doing good. You should be sending in some tickets.
Our vendors are missing outside the mire, by the way. Just
well,
so you know.
Period. It looks like you don't like Farnham either because you're on his team, but. Yeah, nobody really likes Farnham. There's nobody ever said, thanks, Farnham, for killing me 50 times. I see in the chat like, hey, I fought you like 12 times today. Is there like any chance?
Especially when my health is down halfway because I just got done fighting something.
Yeah, or I just blew all my cooldowns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, Purian, you are a rare breed. No, he doesn't. He makes people stop playing. Matter of fact, when I was in a group with your team the other day, you guys knew somebody was on and everybody got offline. So I don't know that that's true. Actually, I got killed by that guy. They were right. He was online. But I found him. He found me. But, I don't think that really brings in business. In that fashion.
Easy to stay away from. I just don't go to hot zones. He only farms hot zones.
Yeah, they give a lot of opportunities to the cats and not enough to the mice, except for like the Ganesians who can kill, which still blows my mind. But yeah, so yeah, the cat and mouse thing, it can be fun, but it's not something you want to do every day, right? I don't believe that it increases sales for anybody. Sure, their gear goes down, but not everybody's willing to be like, oh, I just need new gear. That's pretty rare, I think. Let me just go find Purian and get new gear. I don't believe that. I don't do that. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I don't do that. Do you do that, Highlander?
Purian's never made me shit.
Okay. Exactly. So, yeah, I don't know.
I've talked to him many times. He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy,
of
but
course,
we don't...
Now that all the factions have changed, we don't see any of those people anymore. Nobody comes to visit anymore because, to me, they just take the shit too goddamn serious. But that's all right.
Hey, whatever. It is what it is. You can see what I'm doing. Standing in the temple. It's a good spot for me.
Yeah, I'm standing, except I need to get one of those little things because I'm tired of keep sitting there hitting this stupid button.
Well, he may buy from you and he may be rich, but that's him, you're only talking about one dude. We're not talking about.
Sure, he's rich. He kills everybody in a hot zone.
Yeah. He may be.
He's getting all kinds of money.
That's good. I guess that's good for Farnham, but.
Yeah. That was my.
No, we don't do
I
that.
just don't go to hot zone.
That's what I'm saying. We don't do that.
I think we've more of asked you for vessels.
Vessels, yes. We would definitely be interested in vessels.
So we've asked you for stuff.
And Farnham can't take those away.
For that. Yeah, well, we have a guy for that.
Well, we have two guys.
We got a
yes.
We got 3.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I don't want to make it about Purian or what he does, but
No, it's not.
it
Purian's a
doesn't
nice
matter.
guy. I
He's
have
a
no
great
problem
guy.
with
We
Purian.
love Purian, but I still don't think that. I don't think that the victims of Farnham are coming to you as much as he might be coming to you, which is great and all because he's making the money to get you the stuff for the gear, and that's great. Whatever, that's fine. But I don't think that that's like. I don't think that's
Money's not
a
an issue.
reason to keep him around. To keep him like in your hearts and prayers. Other than, yeah, he's making you money or whatever it is that you require from him. Why don't you get him into harvesting? That would be better for him. That way he'd be out of our hair.
No, I've never asked you for gear, Purian, ever. I haven't because we have our own here, so I usually go to our two guys that are here in our group all the time. They make very good armor here, so I've
Good.
never asked him for anything.
Tell him to do it more. He needs to do it more. He should do mother loads.
I'm guessing you don't do his harvesting as Farnham. Wouldn't be a guess though. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I don't. I just want him to sometimes not, be at every single hot zone. That'd be nice, but that's not usually the case. But
because he'd be an open target if he's out there harvesting his Farnham. I don't think he's harvesting his Farnham. He's got another account.
Yeah, he's yeah.
He's not
well,
harvesting.
when
his
people
Farnham.
don't, when the mice don't want to be found, they're good at getting away from.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are getting him interested in other projects. That's all I can say. Thank you. Good. Well, it doesn't matter. Like I said, a lot of players have multiple accounts, so it doesn't really matter.
No.
They can go to other places besides hot zones. It's just, when I read the chat, I'm not seeing a lot of people, thanking him for the opportunity to get their shit pushed in. But that's just me. Maybe I'm not reading the chat enough. I haven't seen the praises just yet. But yeah. So anyway, guys, I think my one thing I was gonna say about factions
We
in
ran a
general,
lot today.
I don't think we should have I think it should be more difficult for one faction to run an entire map in the Shadow. So whether that is some sort of an empire tax or something to where it's more expensive the more of an empire you have, or something to that effect, where you could still do it, but it would be, more cost prohibitive for one faction to do such a thing. I was kind of disenamored about the event where like Moon had the entire map, and it was just super annoying, I'm sure, for the other factions to get anything done. And I just thought, especially during an event, when it's supposed to be, a holiday event is more like, usually holidays are like rewarding to people, not, getting their heads cut off every 5 minutes. But I mean, there's probably ways to deal with that too. Like I said, they should have made it to where the assailant or the attacker has to get the victim's head to get the cheaps off of them, which would be cooler in my opinion, because then it would make it, at least they had a chance to get out of it.
I don't know. The thing I have now did not give me what I thought it did, so I'm totally lost when it comes to that thing, Fear. I don't know what happened there, so.
Well, you have to have a back piece, so we'll
I
talk about that.
didn't get one. Yep.
Yeah.
No, you didn't get a back piece from the event. You would have had to get it from a Twitch drop or VIP.
Yeah, I don't have one either, so I have that. I'm in the same boat as you.
Just hold on to
I
it.
have an enchant. Yeah, that's all I have.
Well, I'm sure the more back pieces will come available. I don't know what their deal is with those
Yeah.
things.
And apparently you can't get them from the random drop option from the conquest coins.
Fucking, again, something stupid. You go to all that time collecting crap just for an enchant you can't fucking use. Until you find the piece you need to use it.
Which doesn't drop
Just
that
another
often.
reason to deter me. Yeah, just another reason to deter me. It is. I'm salty.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. So am I.
I
You
was
can see
looking
that.
forward to putting that on.
Hmm.
But hey, something I do like before we leave the show here, because I know it's getting close. Hey, the XP drop. The XP is nice now. I was just out in
Yeah,
Sky
that
Point
is nice.
hitting
That is a
around,
nice
and it's
thing.
very even in Sky Point. It works. It's
Oh,
excellent.
did they finally implement that?
Yeah, they
It's in
finally
Sky
put it
Point
in.
as well. Yeah,
So you get more. So if I
I
sit there
was
and spend
over at the
5 minutes, if I spend 5 minutes soloing a group boss, I'm not going to get the same amount I get from
No.
soloing a solo
No,
boss.
it
Well,
depends on the level you're hitting.
experience maybe. I don't know about the loot. Yeah, maybe it
Well, I
was the
don't care
loot a
about the loot.
problem.
I'm talking about the experience.
It's
Oh,
the
I don't
Solo and
know.
experience.
group,
Yeah,
the solo and group boss both gave 650 XP, which I thought was absolutely.
Well,
it's 68 now. If you're level 30 and you're hitting the guineas in Sky Point, which is where I went to test it. I went to the guineas over in Sky Point. I got 68 per regular, and it's just a few more depending on the level. Now, if those were been 34s or 35,
I think what he wants to know is if a solo boss gives
yes,
less than a
gives
group
more.
boss now.
Or a
That
group
I
boss,
don't know. I've
or
never
a
hit a
group
group
boss gives
boss.
more because a group boss should give more.
Yeah,
Yes,
you've tested
absolutely.
that part. Okay. That's the part he was concerned about.
I'm gonna have
That
to go
I
test
don't.
that.
I don't hit group bosses.
Okay, well
especially
this
with
is
a level 30.
yeah, that's why I was trying to get you in the right mindset here. He wants to know if a group boss gives more than a solo boss now. So we got to find that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it should not give you the same amount of EXP for a group boss as it does for a solo boss.
Absolutely, it
Should
should.
give you more.
As a raid boss should give more, and a ward or whatever hitting as it progresses up, you should get more. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's the one thing we got to test. So we'll figure it out. But in any event, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
He said event.
If this crashing shit don't get fixed before the dregs, I think it's just going to be horrible. Especially if they're trying to do any kind of soft launch or maps or anything. It's just going to be a nightmare. So hopefully they'll get all that fixed and, whatever it is. I don't know what the hell. I mean, we've been telling them since 7.7 that there was crashing going on in zones and stuff like that. So, yeah.
My crashing is just when I'm trying to switch characters. It doesn't matter if I'm loading into an EK or loading into God's Reach or just switching characters. It's just
Yeah, it's
crashing.
worse now. I mean, we warned them about this stuff, a while ago.
Yeah, whenever
So-
anything's attempting to load, it's like, okay, let's roll the dice and see how unlucky I am this time.
Yeah, I know Kirimara has the same problem, where she zones and then she crashes. Getting in I couldn't even get into God's Reach the other day. Every time I tried to log some of my characters in, they'd get frozen right when I got in there. And the game would stop responding and all this stuff. And I'm just like,
Yep.
yeah, that's not good. That can never be a good thing. So hopefully they'll get all that worked out. I want to thank everybody that came in today and chit-chatted with us. Like I said, it's just, this is what we do. We just get around and talk with the community and,
And we know not every idea or opinion is going to sit there and be popular.
No, we don't. And that's the thing is you can disagree with us. That's fine.
Yeah. The whole idea is to sit there and
I mean, we don't have any more power over the game than you guys. So, you know what I mean? We just voice our opinions. The devs will either do it or they don't. Sometimes they do what we say, but sometimes they don't. Or they do a version of what we said. Might be a little different because they don't always see things as the same way we see it. We say, oh, blah, blah, blah happened. And then they figure out what that really means. And they go, oh, they're talking about this other thing. I do tech support a lot, so I get calls from people and they say, this doesn't work or I did this, and then I got to figure out what it is that they're really complaining about, what's really wrong. Like, I can't log in, and then I got to ask them, you can't log into what? So you just go on and on and on and all that. Hey, we got a visitor. Who's that? Oh, Highlander. Oh my God, he's on a Stoneborn. So, any event, yeah, like I said, we're here usually on Saturdays. I'm assuming we'll be here next weekend because we get to discuss the tragedy of the Dregs launch next week. So we'll be ready for that. Hopefully, that should be this week. It's supposed to be on the 19th. If it doesn't get delayed or canceled or whatever, I don't know what's going to happen at this point. Dakoth, I know Dakoth. Yeah,
You guys.
hey, no, we appreciate that, dude. We're not. It's not that we're having a hard time finding it. We just want to make it so that it's just it's it's just we would like it to not be so difficult to get involved in it. And I think eventually they may do that. I feel like the game is really working towards that. I feel like the devs have been working more towards, casualizing some of this stuff so that more people can get involved. And like I said, we're low hanging fruit though, dude. I mean, I'm ride or die. So this game will either make it or it won't, and I'll be there either way. But I can't say that for everyone, and I'd like to be able to say it for more people. Like, there's a reason. Give us a reason to stay. Give me a reason to see Highlander dance as a Stoneborn. This is a rare thing, guys. This is something that you can tell your grandkids about. Because the fact that he even figured out how to type that into the chat window, that
It's pretty
of its
amazing.
own is
Hey,
an
there goes
amazing
Cowboy.
feat. Hey, there he is. About time he came around. I was just about to send him a message on the Discord. Hey, come on, help us. All right. So anyway, guys, I'm done. Are you guys done?
Yeah.
One more. You sure you don't have one more thing?
Nah, just got my ass kicked by a guinea.
I don't know. I could be able to
Like,
put
he's
my
doing no
spellbound items
damage.
in a personal chest.
No damage.
Well, no, I was kicking his ass, got him down to less than half health, and he was doing no damage to me, and then suddenly my health just like plummeted.
You must be getting
Where are
lag.
you?
I don't know what was going on there. That was just
Sky
whatever.
Point?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sky Point at Tainted Hills.
Dak, I understand. Yeah, no, we push them too. I mean, I push them all the time. Trust me, I'm an investor. I get up in I get up in the support tickets and
Oh,
start
they
fucking
know
with them
who
all the
Fear
time.
is.
They know me really well. Trust me.
They
I get
know
in
here.
there.
He's good at typing paragraphs.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I can type
he's
books.
a typer.
Yeah, I get in their ass all the time, and I even meme them. I meme on them all the time. Follow my Twitter over at twitter.com @BattleVortex, and I meme on them constantly, man. I'm always constantly fucking with them because that's I know they see the Twitter, so I don't mess with the Discord as much because I just don't like I'm not a member of the elite family, so I just stay out of there. I let those guys
somebody
do
else
their
would know.
thing. So, in any event, I will talk to you guys next week. So be there or be, a crow.
Like and/or share.
Oh, there it is. Valiant Blow. The dude smashed me for 1400 HP.
Nice. He gave you a valiant blow, did he?
Yeah, Valiant Blow and a lot of obliterates.
Wow. He was
player?
obliterating you and blowing
Yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That sounds amazing. It sounds like a porn.
Yeah.
Did you get a recording of
Well,
that by
Valiant
chance?
Blow would be awesome. Yeah. that
Yeah,
would be
Valiant Blow. That
amazing.
sounds good. That sounds better than the Righteous Dalmatians, if you ask me.
Yeah, almost as it was intended.
All right,
I'm guessing
guys.
he was a guinea knight or something.
We'll talk to you
Anyways.
soon. Have a good weekend. Fucking hilarious. Wait. There we go.